Plaintiff, you may begin. Ms. Koning.
I'm here today in your court because this woman took advantage of me. She gave my son a paternity test without my permission, and she caused a lot of problems in my life. She owes me $975 for my medical bills and my emotional distress, and I want her to pay.
All right, now, defendant, Ms. Jacobson.
Your Honor, I do not owe her $975. She's standing here lying. I had my son, my so-called grandson, from her. I asked her if I could babysit the grandson, and I took him to my house, and I gave him a cotton swab in his mouth. I asked my son, Jack, to swab his mouth, too. I took those swabs to the lab. In 2 weeks, I got proof back that my son is not the father of your child.
All right, let me find out. How did this relationship begin, Ms. Koning?
Okay, I've been with Jack for like 3 years, on and off, and we
Obviously,
broke up.
there was a point at which it was on because you thought you were having a son.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we broke up, and then we got back together, and then I got pregnant with his child, and so I had the baby. She's always like causing drama because she doesn't like me. I don't know why. What's her problem? And like he just listens to whatever his mom says, and I don't like even know what's the problem with her and me, but she's causing a lot of problems between us, and I just need him to realize that he's my son's father because I know he is, and he needs to take care of his son.
All right, let me just ask you. Was there a point at which you gave permission to the defendant to babysit for your son?
Yes, she asked me if she can babysit, and I said yes because I thought she wanted to spend time with her grandson.
All right, so you assumed that she was the grandmother of your son. She is the mother of the man with whom you were having the relationship, Jack, is that right?
Yes.
All right, so you gave her permission to take the baby, what, to her house?
Yeah.
And while she was there at her house with what she thought was her grandson, what happened?
Apparently, she took him into the bathroom to change his diaper, and she swabbed his mouth. And she didn't ask me if she can do this. She did it without my permission. She just said she wanted to watch him, but obviously she lied, and I'm hurt that they would do this to me because I have no idea why they would do something like this.
All right, let me ask you, Ms. Jacobson, you're nodding your head. No, 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 no.
That's a lie.
Okay,
That's not true.
well, wait a minute. Which part is a lie? Which part is true? You did take the baby, did you not?
Yes, I did.
You thought that baby was your grandson, right?
Yes, I did.
And you took him to babysit like a grandma would.
Yes, I did.
All right, now, while he was in your care, did you take a cotton swab and swab his mouth for a DNA test?
Yes, I did.
Now, help me to understand why you would do that. That's not ordinarily what a grandma would do when she's babysitting for her grandson.
Your Honor, I have babysitted Jack Jr. many times. And me and a neighbor was looking at the child, and every time I saw the child, Jack's eyes wasn't there, facial expressions, the nose, the ears, the hair. It didn't look anything like him. And
Now,
people were
how
saying,
old was the baby at this time?
he was about 1.5.
Okay, because ordinarily babies start looking like their daddies.
About
Almost
almost
10
2,
months?
almost 2.
And maybe a little longer, but sometimes
Yes.
they look like their moms. But all right, but you became suspicious.
I sure did. I sure did. And so my
Is
neighbor
that
was
why you decided to babysit at the time in question when this cotton swab DNA test was done?
It was on my mind. Me and my neighbor talked about it. It was on my mind heavily. Heavily, I felt that it was heavily because I knew that they had even been intimate. Because my son told me they wasn't even together at the time she was supposed to have gotten pregnant, because they had broke up and got back together. Okay, so that made me have even more suspicions.
All right,
so
I'm going to have, is your son or somebody raising his hand? I guess, is that your son,
That's
the
my
witness?
son right here.
Okay, well, let me have the witness come forward then. Please state your name for the record, sir.
My name is Jack Jacobson.
All right, Mr. Jacobson, and you're here as a witness. You're under oath. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you have a relationship with Ms. Robin Koning, the plaintiff?
Yes, we did. We had a relationship on and off for about 3 years.
All right, and was there a time during those 3 years that you became intimate?
Yes.
All right, was that on or about or around the time, or shortly before the time, obviously, that she became pregnant?
No, it wasn't. And what happened, we was dating on and off for about 3 years. The last time we broke up is because I caught her having sex with my friend at my house.
Really?
Yes, and so we broke up.
In your bed?
I don't know if they was in the bed on the floor. It looked like it was all kind of, it was crazy looking.
No,
They
no.
was doing some
Wait a
wild
second.
things.
You caught her.
Yeah.
at your house having sex with your friend.
Yes.
But you don't. If you caught her, how do you know? Yet you don't know if it was in the bed or on the floor or hanging from a chandelier.
Because when I entered the bedroom, she was standing up because I broke into the room. I heard them when I came in. Noises from the bedroom come in, and she's trying to explain it. I told her she had to get out immediately. Now we had been dating for quite a while.
So you didn't think they were like just in the bedroom watching video?
Oh no. I know her. No, they weren't doing that. She wasn't even dressed.
What do you know about her?
I know that she's been messing around with different people. That wasn't the first time that I caught her cheating or found out or heard rumors of her cheating, basically.
Coming up on
So that was upset. Was that time you broke up with her?
That was the time that we broke up, and we were separated for about 3 months at that time.
And then what happened?
Well, after 3 months, we met back out at a bar, and I saw her out with some of her friends, and I missed her. I did care for her at one particular time.
So you went back.
We tried to reconcile.
You went back to her.
I did. She tricked me.
All right. She tricked you into what? Having sex with her?
No, she was just looking good, and I missed her, so I had to get her back.
How's that a trick?
Well, I think she did it on purpose. She knows exactly where I hang out, and she showed
she doesn't
up.
look good. She just kind of look good, just
on accident sometimes, Your Honor. But I think she did it on purpose this time.
Kind of like a spider with a web, and she's kind of trapping you, coming into my web.
And I feel like the insect trapped. I couldn't even break loose, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I say something?
All right, well, you may, but in just a moment. All right. So what I'm trying to say is you were intimate with her, and you're saying that was like 3 months before she became pregnant?
When we got back together, she's saying that she became pregnant from my child before we broke up.
I'm asking you the question, sir. Just answer the question. Don't be dancing all around the place.
Yes, about a month after we got back together, she started showing and started having signs of being pregnant.
All right, a month now. All right, so you had sex. Let's get right down to it, all right?
Yes.
Because you're grown up, I'm a grown up, we can talk in grown up terms.
Yes.
You had sex about a month before you heard that she was pregnant, right?
Right.
All right, so then you thought maybe that's your child.
I thought possibly it could be.
And in fact, for a year and a half, the little Jack was getting, he's born and he's getting bigger. You were treating him as your son, is that right?
Well, from the beginning, Your Honor, my mom has been saying that the timetable didn't add up. And so when I came and approached her...
you, sir, thought that was your son. Is that correct or not?
I had my doubts from the beginning.
Were you treating him as though he was your son?
I did.
Well, did you ever have a paternity test performed?
No, I tried to ask her. She wouldn't allow it. She said, why would I try to betray her? That she knows she loves me and that she knows she would never cheat on me. I'm like, you've already cheated on me. What do you mean?
All right, so if she already cheated on you and you had your doubts from the beginning, as you say, why didn't you go to court and ask that a court order her to take a test?
Because at this time, we had decided to get back together. We were trying to make it work.
So you wanted to keep things as calm as possible.
I thought it was going to be the easiest option until my mom said, I'm sorry, it's a year the baby should start looking like you. And so I did, as the father, I did give her permission. And actually, I don't even know why we're here.
You gave her permission to do what?
To do the paternity test on Jack Jr.
Okay,
all right, very good. Sir,
permission.
you may be seated.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Now, back to plaintiff. You would not have given permission, right, for this DNA test to be performed?
If he would have asked me and they would have came to me, I would have given permission for a legitimate test to be done in court. But they didn't do that.
Well, so he never asked you for a paternity test?
No, he never did.
I don't know. And you never thought that a paternity test was necessary because you thought he was the father, right?
I'm 100% sure he's the father. I didn't sleep with
You're
anyone
100%
else.
Sure he is the father?
Yes.
No, he's not.
Well, how can you be 100% sure? Weren't you sleeping with someone else around the time that you were also sleeping with the witness here, Mr. Jacobson?
No, I was not sleeping with anyone else. He was, and he's lying.
All right, wait. He was, and he's lying, but you're the one that gave birth.
Yeah,
so
but
I'm
I was
just
only
asking
sleeping
you,
with him.
if in fact this paternity test is accurate, and he is not the father.
But it's not
Well,
accurate.
what are you saying? This was some kind of virgin birth? That you weren't sleeping with anybody else and suddenly you became pregnant? What, there's something in the air?
I was only sleeping with him.
What?
And
I hope
he
it's
knows
not
that.
contagious if that's the case, because I already have a child.
I wasn't sleeping with anyone else besides Jack.
Now, raise your hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Who else were you sleeping with, ma'am?
No one else. I swear to God, I was not sleeping with anyone else.
Okay, when was the last time before you became pregnant that you slept with anyone else?
Like 3 or 4 months.
Have you ever asked a court to order that he take a paternity test?
No, because he never told me that he had any doubts that it was.
Okay, well, now that there apparently are doubts, at least because there has been a home DNA test, that is, swabs were taken at home and then sent in, shows 0% probability. Since you learned of that, when did you learn of that, ma'am?
2 weeks after they did the test.
Okay, and that was what, about 6 months ago?
Yeah.
All right. And in the last 6 months, have you come to court and asked that the court order that he take a paternity test?
No, I haven't.
All right, thank you. I'm ready to rule. She, in fact, had permission from you to take that child. You consented to her taking the child to babysit. That would be consent to touch the child, to change his diaper, to do whatever is necessary to maintain the health and safety of the child. She had permission to touch the child. When she took that cotton swab and swabbed it inside of the baby's mouth, that was not an assault, that was not a battery on the child. It did not harm the child physically, and I doubt that it harmed the child emotionally in any way. The child is an infant. She sent the results in. The results are that he is not the father. In the time after that, you've done nothing to come to court to ask that any paternity test be ordered, probably because you know that he is not the father of your child. So I am not going to be able to rule for you. I am going to rule in favor of the defendant. You are not going to be able to recover your medical bills, and I am going to find that she had implied consent to do the test. I am going to rule for defendant.
Judge Allred has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.